can't remember if I've read any of his works.
Oh, there's your opportunity right there.
Oh. Hey, I can hear you nice and clear.
Oh, good, because I can't hear me because I haven't put the headphones on yet.
Crystal clear, Uncle Chase.
Now can I hear me?
Can you?
I really can't that much, but that's because I usually don't have to.
Okay. I mean, it should be fine, right? Not that I would know. I am not a podcast expert.
This summer. Yeah,
this summer.
That's one more.
Little tortilla boys coming to town. He just has a stroke midway through.
Little tortilla boy.
Yes.
This summer. Yeah.
And Zach Galifianakis.
Don LaFontaine.
And also
that was a little more DJ.
Don Cheadle. Because why the hell not? He's always a win.
He is.
He's fun.
Freaking Captain Planet. Like, who came up with him being Captain Planet?
That was the best thing I've ever watched.
It's bizarro.
I love doing that with cartoons. Literally just, like, make them the most dark way possible. Like, Daniel Tiger makes it so that you can't have species intermixing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's not politically correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm being funny here.
Maybe Dora could get lost in the jungle and just never come back, like a Jumanji situation.
Yes. Yes. Wait, what if Dora is just Tomb Raider as a prequel?
I would watch that. I would watch that so fast.
This summer.
You've
never seen her like this. Dora, the Tomb Raider.
Yes. Come on, Boots! Boots, no! He falls down a ravine.
Yes. Yes.
There's not a map to go down there, I think.
Oh, man.
Let's see. One time I came up with a Kool-Aid commercial where it's a bunch of construction workers and man, it is just hot out here. And then Kool-Aid, he busts through a brick wall. And he's like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the construction workers yeah, man. They're drinking and they're hydrated. And a minute in, they realize the horrible mistake that the wall that Kool-Aid happened to bust through was, one of the most integral parts of that entire skyscraper they were building. And so the whole thing just falls, and the last shot is Kool-Aid just looking up in pure horror with screams in the background. And it's just oh no.
And that's an all original, huh?
It's just fade out, yeah.
Well, you're kind of into storytelling. We've been talking about that all along, but we should probably tell everybody who you are and
what's up,
what you're doing here. This is Atreyu McLewin. This is, if you've seen Chad. No, Chad has not had an episode yet.
No, I know you guys have probably talked about it, though.
Right?
Yeah. It seems like the thing he would love to talk about.
Get in the car, dude. Come on down. Virtual. We can do virtual soon, too, though.
Yes, we can. Yes. Coming to you soon.
It's been
virtual
tested.
Podcast. Oh, It's been tested.
It has. We've tested it.
Had his best scientists working on it.
Yeah, it's still me.
Still the best scientist you got.
My dad and I quote Raiders of the Lost Ark all the time. We have top men working on it.
Yeah.
Like who? Top men.
That is
who knows? This is created off in a warehouse. I love it.
Yeah, I'm so glad they put those movies on Netflix because I miss them. I miss them really much, a lot. So being able to watch them again, I was like, yeah. And I was never allowed to see Temple of Doom as a kid, so I was like,
for good reason,
dude. No, I love Temple of Doom.
Well, I'm sure you do. But
here's audience. Look at me. Here's how the Indiana Jones films go from best to worst: Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and The Last Crusade. And if you disagree with me, then that's your opinion. And I won't badmouth you about it because I've been instructed not to.
And you're a good boy.
Yeah. I try. Ooh, man.
Oh, so you're kind of going, you're in that last year. You're about to start your senior year of high school.
Yes. Good exposition.
You're looking at your future. You're looking at college. You're looking at what you're going to do. You're looking at some of the things that you haven't necessarily done yet or been exposed to.
Yeah, you've helped with that. Yeah.
I've helped shelter you. Is that the idea?
No, you helped me figure out how you even had to do that in the first place.
Well, thanks. You help me out too every time we hang out, so it's always great. I like being stretched too. So
thank you.
It's always mutual. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A good exchange, a good hangout,
exactly.
is always going to benefit
Mutually
both
beneficial.
people. You got it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
I told you I was going to hit you with a zinger right out the gate.
Yeah, I've been nervous.
So I had to ask.
God. All right.
You ready?
Okay.
You're not ready. You're ready. No. Okay. Okay. Here it comes.
Mm-hmm.
With the wind up.
Okay.
The world is in the tank right now.
Basically.
It's not only chaos and terrible and depressing and stressful and just miserable in so many ways.
Can be. Mm-hmm.
But you've been planning for your future for the last couple of months, which means there's something in you that's hoping that things are going to get better.
Yeah.
What is it?
I've told you I don't watch the news that much. I'm not authorized to talk about this.
No, it's what's making it. Maybe that's it. You don't watch the news, so you.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know. There's so many reasons not to watch the news. I know one part is, like, you need to stay informed, and I know I should, which is why I plan on watching the news a bit more. But, like, there's so many reasons not to. Like, for one, the morality is just it's all fuddled up. Like, the news focuses on fear. Like, that's how it brings us in. Like, if you look at the news in Great Britain versus the news we have here, and how they talk about something, the same thing, like E. coli or something, Britain's is going to be a lot more dry. They're not going to care as much, because it's public. It's free services. They're not getting paid to do this. And so there's less incentive to try and get people to watch it. You give them facts and hope they listened. But with
is that Corona?
Yeah, yeah. That's why. Why do you think we're sitting this far apart?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, this set is invisible walls. But yeah, but the news here in America, we use fear to draw in the audience, and there's something about that I don't like. I don't like to listen to a business that has to scare people to listen to it. That's basically just TV in general, but like still, I don't like it. And I've totally rabbit holed from your question, but
not really. You're still going.
Okay, cool.
I am going to warn you about the this evil thing called politics. That apparently the only way to get people to vote is to make everyone scared of the other candidate.
Oh my gosh!
You can't even talk about yourself. You have to spend a whole episode length talking about how your opponent is Satan himself.
Yeah, it is so crazy. The moment I got here, like, all I've been getting are political advertisements about how Joe Biden is basically the next Lucifer, but with a nice suit. And it's just like, oh my gosh, guys, I'm just trying to, figure out how to put my pants on the right way. I don't need this in my life.
And you're talking about these ads are coming through on social media or
on YouTube, at least. Yeah. It's just like anytime I go on YouTube and I decide to watch a few videos, like 2 minutes in, they'll be like, Joe Biden is the next Osama bin Laden. It's like, whoa. Oh my gosh, come on, guys.
You sure they didn't mean Obama? Like, people have made that mistake before. They just got the names mixed up. Did I say
Obama?
No, you said Osama bin Laden, but somebody said,
I got scared for a
so
minute.
many big politicians were talking about Osama. And it was just,
and
they had gotten so used to saying Osama bin Laden.
Yeah.
So that when it was Obama, it was like, oops.
So they just say Obama.
And it's like career suicide. Yeah.
No, ads are mean. Like, I always forget how mean politics is, mostly because I don't pay attention. I don't know. That's the best / worst thing that I do sometimes is just I don't pay attention. Like, in some ways it's good because I try to like preserve parts of me. And I feel like if I was to ever try and get myself dragged into politics, I wouldn't be the same afterwards. And so it's like, on one hand, I should be paying more attention, which I do try. I really do sometimes. But like, on the other hand, it's like, I'm going to risk a lot of things, which I guess is pretty selfish now that I say it out loud. So, yeah. many revelations today.
So storytelling.
Oh.
Storytelling, you are looking. Well, tell us what you're aiming at right now as far as career goals. I know that's kind of been up in the air a bit, but we had talked about some game design, things like that.
Yeah.
And what is it that's drawing you to game design?
I don't know. I mean, we talked a while back about how like being a man is like all about putting the world back together in some way, leaving it better than when you arrived, sort of a thing. And I guess it kind of has something to do with that. Like video games like these have been around since I was a kid. I grew up with like the GameCube and the Xbox and the old PS2. I remember growing up with all those, and I was a very shy kid. I didn't have like a lot of friends. I was just very shy, and so I guess we turned down the AC. You okay?
No,
What's wrong?
we got to restart.
What? No, we don't. This is perfect. No, this is perfect.
Yeah? You don't want to restart?
Sure. I mean, do you think Do you think they hurt us?
We're putting the equipment to the test. We're going to find out.
Sure.
I mean, I'm good if you are.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go for it.
Normally, this would be a restart. That was
technical.
I sat down, I reached over, and I was supposed to turn off the really terribly loud AC unit before we got going. And it's always something in a production.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah. So recap, basically.
In case you couldn't hear us for the first 20 minutes here.
It's been 20 minutes.
I don't know. I'm just not paying attention. You just go into it and go.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've talked about politics. We talked about what is driving you to still have hope for the world. Because one of the... And
we didn't talk
here's
about that, yeah.
The reason I'm asking is...
Yes, I want to get back to that
Or a big
question.
reason I'm asking is... When you hear people talk about becoming parents or things like that, I've often heard a good reason for not being a parent or not having kids is who would want to bring a child into this terrible world?
Yeah.
Well,
you're
leaving childhood in this terrible world. So what would you say to that concept?
Okay, I mean,
is there actually hope for this world, or are they maybe right?
To say that there is no hope means that there was never any to begin with, and that's just not a historical fact.
Not any to begin with?
Yeah. Just like there's, from the little bit that I do know, it seems like hope has kind of always been a constant in this universe, whether it's through literature or government or just so many other things. It just seems like hope has always been a really important part of this world. And so to say that there is no hope means that you're basically ignoring a lot of history. There was no hope for America becoming America, but we decided to believe that maybe there was, and here we are now, sitting in this booth, sort of a thing. It's just it seems like you're just trying to ignore history by saying there is no hope. And I get it. This world sucks sometimes. It's mean, it's cold, it's harsh, and it's never fair. But I don't know. It just seems so sad to just say you forfeit like that. It just seems like you saying I forfeit. If you want the world to be a better place, especially for your kid, then make it a better place for your kid, I guess. Just do what you can. And even if you fail, you can at least say, I tried to make this world as good as I could for you, and I just hope you can respect me for that. It's not about succeeding sometimes. It's really just about attempting. So many people say, I'm not going to do this because I know I won't succeed. But I will tend to do a lot of those things because I say, well, hey, at least I got to try. And I think a lot of people just tend to look at it the wrong way sometimes. I don't think I'll succeed, and therefore I won't. I do it because I know I might not succeed, but hey, I can still try and see what happens. It's just giving up hope like that and forfeiting, saying that, it's kind of also unfair to the kid in a way, not giving them a chance to see what this world is about. You think this world is terrible. Maybe your kid or the next kid will find this world as beautiful as it could be and find some way to bring that out somehow. It just seems like you're ignoring so many factors when you say, no, I can't bring anything into this world knowing how bad it is. it just seems like you're ignoring a lot, I guess.
It's a great way to look at it, I think. It's not a perspective I expected you to bring out. That's good stuff, man.
Thank you.
Deep. You're getting me thinking here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, we all fail at things, but, we might also succeed at things, and you don't know until you take a stab at it, basically.
Sounds like you think of the opportunity, the chance, taking the chance as a gift in itself.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I guess it's kind of most familiar to me, that feeling in school. I would have been homeschooled my whole life. Background for the audience: I was homeschooled until 7th grade, and at 7th grade, I was then put into a charter school called Academy. Can I say the name? I mean, I don't see why not.
I don't see why not.
So, charter.
Unless you really hate it and you're going to talk bad about it.
No. So it was the Academy for Discovery at Lakewood. That 7th grade, I went into that school, and it was, for one, it was kind of the worst time of my life, because not only am I in middle school, but also my entire educational foundation has just been crumbled. And so I could have been I hate this and I want to go back, but I don't know. There was something about that I loved. And I never would have found out how much better I fit into the system, the public school system, if my parents hadn't given me the opportunity. They came up to me when I was 11, was like, hey, so there's this new charter school called Academy for Discovery at Lakewood. Would you like to go? That means you wouldn't be homeschooled anymore. And I said, yeah. So really, it is about the opportunity, because if you ignore the opportunities, you ignore the outcomes. It's just kind of like statistics in a sense. Let's say there's 2 choices. You ignore one, but that choice can lead to about thousands of others. It's just kind of, statistically speaking, you'd be cutting off half of your life in a sense. It just seems weird to ignore an opportunity. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like you appreciate the social interaction of learning as well. The corporate experience has value for you.
Yeah, it's not fun learning right next to your sister every day. Sometimes it's a nightmare.
Not a fan of that, huh?
No. I love her, Anduin. I love you, but not easy sometimes as a kid.
Well, space and age difference. And,
yeah. I didn't feel challenged being homeschooled sometimes, I guess. I was like, oh, okay, I just do this and this, and then I'll get the grade or whatever. I had a weird homeschool experience. Most people think when you're homeschooled, you just stay at home and do stuff. I went to a homeschool school.
You did. What was that place? What did you think of it? What was it like?
Yeah, Homeschool Plus at Ingleside Church, Norfolk, Virginia. So that place, that was fun. I have a lot of fond memories there. Of course I do. It's it's where a lot of my childhood is. I have a lot of fond memories of running around on the playground, playing tag for literally 2 hours in 80-degree weather. I love tag, by the way. Those were my favorite games. But that place, on one hand, no, it's a good place. For a while, I keep getting confused because it's this is how I used to think. I just hated everything that had to do with my past for a while. Because in middle school, obviously, I do enjoy the social interactions. Being around my sister was tough. And so I really enjoyed being around all these new people in middle school and seeing, oh, these people are like this, and they're nothing like my sister. It's yay.
Some variety, maybe.
Yeah, variety.
Because it's not about somebody at home really getting on your nerves. It's just
not usually.
From what I'm getting, because even when you did homeschooling, how is it? First, I got to ask. No, first I got to finish that thought.
Yeah, I'm giving you a lot of rabbit holes. I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. I'll create them anyway. That's just
right.
Me. Ask David Benson sometime. Anyway, so it's not the individual that's necessarily your day in, day out.
Yeah.
It's
just the environment.
It's the knowing that there's a lack of variety. It's the same. It's like watching the same movie over and over again.
Yeah.
And you get to see your sister grow and your other family members more, and there's advantages. Right.
I love them all.
Yeah. But if you're the person that we're kind of talking about here, it's it can feel like a prison sometimes. That's why
Yeah.
homeschooling's not for everybody,
No, it's not.
and corporate education's not for everybody.
It's not. No, I used to think it was. But yeah, no, so anyway, kind of going back, yes, I do indeed appreciate the opportunity to do something, which I experienced in being able to go to public school, because I found that I was way better there because of all that variety and the new environment. And that was just such a hard time in my life, though. That was one of the probably the worst time in my life, in a sense, was like middle school, and also kind of this year. This year's been so busy. But yeah, so like middle school, if you think middle school is hard enough, try changing, the entire educational foundation and like your whole childhood that you grew up on. Just try twisting that around and see what happens.
Well, that's what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, it's
You've
like
got people that are now homeschooling
yeah,
that never thought they were
which
going
is
to be homeschooling.
crazy. Yeah, like
I mean,
there's
they're doing it with the education system.
yeah,
And their
like
video.
they'll pull kids out of public school and just purposely homeschool them. Which, if you think it suits you, good for you. I personally could never go back to that. Yeah. I've become so accustomed to the public school life. Yeah.
So something that's a little foreign to a lot of people too is the idea that you can homeschool and be going to a school to be homeschooling.
Yeah.
Real quick, if you want to lay that out for the
Yeah.
listeners, because that's going to be a different thing for a lot of people that
All right.
they didn't know was there.
Yeah, it's like an oxymoron almost. It's like it shouldn't even exist. But yeah, so parents, there are schools for homeschooling, and the way it happened with me was I would go to school for a few hours, and only for a few days of the week. I only took like 2, maybe 3 classes a year. And I would go there, do the work there that was taught to me, and then I would go home and do all my other homeschool stuff like math, science, and English. Like those would be done at home. Teachers wouldn't be teaching me that really. Like I would do Spanish, for example. I would do that at the homeschool school, but I would do my algebra at home. It's kind of a 50-50 thing if you go to a homeschool school. It's like some of it is kind of, getting taught to you, while the rest of it is you're on your own, basically.
Well, and like homeschooling in general, there's different flavors for every one of these.
Yeah.
Mine was a co-op where I went once a week.
Yeah, we also had co-ops. That was fun.
Yeah, co-ops are
Yeah,
fun. I
that
like
was-
co-ops a lot.
yeah,
because for us it was 1 day a week,
Mm-hmm.
full day of classes, and then homework was assigned in that 1 day a week for the entire week.
Yeah.
And then you just went off on your own. You did
Yeah,
it, and
and
then
it was-
you were held accountable when you
Yeah.
came back in, and you were free to learn at your own pace.
Yeah.
It's got benefits, but it's got some downsides too. In that
There's,
you don't get used
With
to the
everything.
regimented schedule of a daily schedule in a corporate environment, which it's tough if you're going to have a career in something that's
regimented.
well, in what used to be day-to-day business in the U.S. But right now we are in this weird situation where people are working from home that never thought they would work from home. There are meetings going on with hundreds and thousands of people,
Yeah. It's terrifying.
all each from their home.
Yeah.
And it's just a weird blend. It's kind of neat because like I did up until high school, I was strictly individually homeschooled. It was just my family,
Okay.
and we were out living middle of nowhere too. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was just very much my mom checking the answer book against my
Yeah.
my work, making sure I had done it right, making sure I could articulate the theories and
Yeah.
the concepts and the how I got where I got and the ideas.
Yeah.
And different states have different requirements too. So back then, and this may still be the case, but you had to have a 4-year degree to be able to homeschool, unless you were going to claim a religious exemption.
Wow.
And you still had to do standardized testing every year, unless you were going to claim a religious exemption.
Literally, I would just do one test a year, and then they'd be like, "All right, you can go to the next grade," and that was it.
That's it. It was a pass.
Yeah.
I mean, it was graded, but it was kind of that's how they knew that you should go to the next grade. Was
Yeah.
You either know the stuff or you don't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary when you think about it, but yeah, I remember it being really easy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
See, that's different for everybody, too, because
Yeah.
I know some friends of mine when I was going to that co-op, one family, the mom was a biochemist and the father was a nuclear physicist.
Oh my gosh.
And yes, they would teach the hardest classes. I will say the physicist, he rarely came in, but every time he came in, he thought like I did, like in that fashion. I was like, oh, he speaks my language.
Amazing.
And that was where I started missing that taste that you were talking about earlier, where it's like, not only do you get a variety of peers, but you get a variety of mentors.
Yeah.
That's so needed. You could be taught by the same person, and unfortunately, just luck of the draw, you two aren't jiving at all.
Yeah.
You're trying to beat that square peg into the round hole.
Yeah.
And still, you don't feel, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Then you get out and you find this teacher that in
Yeah,
5 minutes
like that one
makes
good
it
teacher.
all make sense.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. So
Yeah.
they say variety is the spice of life. It sounds like you're a
Yeah.
spicy, craving feller.
Yeah, I like to think so. Yeah, that was one of the hard things at just being homeschooled, just no variety, just kind of day in, day out sort of a thing. With public school, it's a day in, get caught up in the lunch line, forget all of your homework, and then get out sort of a thing. There's a lot of other things going on, even though I don't make it sound like that with that terrible example.
Well, it's fun because you ended up making the choice that I didn't. When I got the choice to go to school or not, I sat down and I asked, I was like, okay, all right, Mom, Dad, let me know how's this going to work? What's this going to look like? Well, Chase, you're going to go to school 5 days a week for about 8 hours a day. They're going to give you homework. It's usually about 1 to 3 hours worth of homework per day.
Yeah.
And I said, why do I get homework if I'm going to school to learn? And they were like, well, there's the classroom and you can kind of ask some questions and things like that. And I go, okay. And I'm already thinking I can only move as fast as the slowest person in the classroom. And I just had a drive to learn as much as I could, as fast as I could. So I was like, all right, I can already feel the brakes coming on. And then they're like, well, yeah, it's 1 to 3 hours of homework a day. I said, when I turn and burn on my curriculum, I'm done with my entire school day in an hour to 3 hours.
Almost sneezed. Sorry.
Send it.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate it
Just
when that
vampire
happens.
sneeze, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I do this.
dab
I plug it in and barely a sound.
wow.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, I mean, my brains get
Yeah, I was going to
destroyed.
say, you've got a hole in the back of your head now. I don't know if you noticed that. We should probably
just you see some
do
blood
something.
coming down the neck.
Yeah, we might need to patch that up.
Yeah, restart.
Oh, now you want to restart. No. We're going now. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's going to be the title of this episode is...
Restart.
Yep. Reset.
Yeah. Boop, boop, boop. You were saying,
man.
though.
What was I saying? I don't know. It just flows out of my mouth like...
talking about burning the curriculum with homework, I think.
Oh, turning and burning. It's an old term. It's a Navy term. It's turn and burn is when you bank hard, give it full afterburners, and just move that jet as hard as you can, right?
Yeah.
So when I was really like buckling down and trying to get my my schoolwork, because all my schoolwork was homework.
Yeah.
I was done in 1 to 3 hours. I was hanging out with a retired Navy guy across the street.
Awesome.
We were going around. We were cutting wood down. We were splitting wood. I was learning life lessons from. He was in his early 70s then, and just getting a taste of life every day for 4 years, really, because that's about the time we lived there.
Yeah.
And there was no way I was gonna give that up. There was just no way.
Yeah.
I was like, nah,
It's too good.
this is too good. And I felt challenged though, and that was the big thing. I would get tired of the monotony. So I would do 3 days worth of schoolwork at a time.
Yeah.
Take 3 days off, and then finish it at the end of the week. Like, you had that management, that self-management ability.
I did not have
that flexibility. No, and that's where it's everybody's different because you got to take into account the relationship with the parents, who are the teachers. They are the ones keeping you accountable.
Yeah.
And not everybody has that skill set of managerial and day-to-day regimented and reading and by reading, I mean reading the students to make sure that they're being appropriately challenged or challenged too much.
Yeah.
And that was something that my mom really seemed to have a natural gift for and juggled well. But,
Yeah.
That's the great thing about the co-ops, though. The co-ops let you, if you're not that kind of person,
Yeah.
hang out with parents that are and knowledge share and spread the load.
And it's even more fun when the co-op just happens to be at your best friend's house. That was my experience. I was
What?
Like, yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm. Justice, my friend Justice, it was at his house, and once it was done, we would just go outside and play for a few hours and just fight the girls over who would get the playground fort. Classic days.
Yeah.
I remember we used to do Nerf wars at home whenever they came over. Like, my friends would come over, Anduin's friends would come over, and we would just absolutely annihilate them every time. It was great. It was the funnest time.
Well, and again, I'm seeing your eyes light up when you're talking about engaging with other people and getting that variety.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I hear it in your stories that you can make up a story that's engaging on the fly. Like, we were playing around with a word exercise the other night, and it was just one word, and you just bounced around. I mean, I'll play the game if you want to.
Okay.
You want me to pick a word, or do you want
to
pick the word?
No, you go on ahead.
Charisma.
Okay. So this is a story of a boy who has used charisma his whole life to get out of situations. But when the time finally comes that his charisma runs out and he starts getting down on his luck, he has nothing left to fall back on, and he has to go through this redemption arc to become a better person in the end.
Does he become more charismatic at the end, or is it...
He learns to use it better.
Interesting.
He uses his charisma as actual charisma rather than manipulation, and he learns the value of good old work and stuff, just
awesome.
Intellect. Yeah.
So that's a hero arc.
Yes.
Now let's say somebody gets turned into a villain.
Villain. Okay.
The charisma, and now it's a villain story.
Okay. This is the story of we'll go with a girl. This is a story of a girl who her whole life has been able to use charisma to manipulate others into doing exactly what she wants. The amount of charisma and intellect that she has is so incredible to the point that it might as well be considered mind control. And this whole story is about showing her climb up this huge corporate ladder, doing the most disgusting things, but getting away with it because of her personality. But it is also sort of what's conflicted as we see the emotional turmoil that happens because of it. We see sort of the impact of the actions. We tell the audience this villain is a real person, and this villain can feel things, and that's why it's terrifying that you should be afraid of her, because she knows how to feel those things, and that's why she's able to get you to do what she wants, because she knows how you feel those things. And so it's a whole story of her using her charisma to basically be the worst person in the world and live with those sort of feelings. And the whole film is basically just her ending up conflicting with herself. The villain becomes her own villain in a sense, and who knows, maybe she'll kill herself at the end or something.
All right, now a comedy.
Comedy. Okay.
Charisma as a comedy.
Let's see. Comedy is always a bit tougher, but because it's subjective. A lot more anyway. But let's see. This is the story of a dog with a bunch of dog friends, and basically this dog is the worst dog you could ever have. He pisses all over his owner's stuff. He gets fur all over his clothing, and he basically just does like a Garfield where he just pulls like a cute little face, and John Arbuckle's like, oh, Garfield, and it's like, yeah, that's the whole movie. And at some point, like, I guess he'll have to save his owner somehow, or maybe the owner will get to save him. Yeah, and so basically it's just the dog being the absolute worst pet in the universe, and the owner being so pitiful that he will put up with it and make it really funny. And then, yeah, and it'll have some cute little moments like, you saved me, yeah, and then like he'll still be like shedding all over him as he hugs him.
Now we break it down. I heard a hero story, a villain story, and a comedy.
Yeah.
The last time we played this, the pieces didn't really work together, but here in this one, in this exercise, you've got a hero and an arch nemesis
Yeah.
for the same movie.
And now they meet.
Now you can build that story
Why
and their
not?
ends that they came to independently. Now you find out that it facilitates the two, right?
Yeah.
You can play with all that
It's
and
fun.
just bounce
Yeah.
it around, or you to do that, and then what ends up curing both of them in the end
Yeah.
is the dog, right? Maybe it's the
Yeah.
hero that owns the dog, right? You can, and that's how you start building those stories. And,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
those were good, one-off, focused, themed stories,
Yep.
all based on one word: random.
Yeah. I mean, I would never have found out about it if it wasn't for you. So
Oh,
thank
you would
you.
have found it eventually. There's great drama teachers out there that are doing things like that,
Yeah.
and musicians. But that's the neat thing about storytelling is it's not limited to words.
Yeah. I actually have been coming up with another story recently. It's just this idea right now. So the theme is rebirth. And so basically, the villain is I'm thinking a fantasy world. The villain is basically trying to end the world. And at first, the audience will think, oh, it's because he wants to see the world reborn in his image. That is not the case. He wants to make it so this world is never born again. He wants to basically just extinguish all life forever, change out the bulbs, and never put them back, sort of a thing. And the whole movie is the kind of like a never-ending story, how like Atreyu has to like find the cure to the nothing. The hero's going to be like trying to figure out like how to stop the end of the world. But at the end, he realizes that the villain's plan just isn't possible. There's going to be rebirth one way or another. And so he lets the villain win. And in the end, the world regrows somehow. That's a story I have right now. And I like it. It's a fun story.
The structure of it makes for a good video game too. 'Cause
That
that's
too.
the kind of
Yeah.
that's the kind of villain that you want in a game environment where
Yeah.
he's complex, he's sophisticated, you can build on it. It's got some
Yeah.
room to play in different things, and I was seeing that in kind of a Soul Calibur existence, which was kind of fun. We've got Soul Calibur on the brain at this point between that and Smash Brothers Melee. Because we've been retro gaming it up.
Play that game if you haven't, by the way. Good
Oh my
games.
gosh, yeah.
So much fun. If you're a total like fighting game nerd, go on ahead, boot them up. I'm not even a Soul Calibur guy, and I'll say like it's a good game. I'll say it. It's a good game. And you're better at me.
You're
than
just
it's-
not a Soul Calibur guy because you're not winning at it.
You're
right
not
now.
a Smash Brothers guy because you don't win at that.
I am a Smash Brothers guy.
And
I just
I could be
like
a Soul
Calibur
Calibur guy.
a little bit more.
No, it's just I don't get it.
Actually, I'm a racing game guy, so
Yeah.
I've not
That's
tortured
another
you
thing.
while you've been hanging out because
Yeah.
Forza 3 I think is where I feel like that series might have peaked. But I can say that because I just haven't played anything past 4.
Yeah.
I need to revisit those.
Go on ahead.
But right after the full-time job, full-time dad, and
Yeah.
trying to podcast every now and then too.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, hey, it's going well.
I mean, who needs sleep? Who needs sleep?
I did not this year. That was fun. Rough year.
Yeah. Rough
yeah.
year.
Yeah. Long year. Very long.
So you're president of a drama club right now too, right? Is that right?
Why, as a matter of fact, I am.
So
Yes.
it's a funny thing because that's usually like a derogatory term in like the macho houses.
It can
Why are
be,
you crying? What are you, the president of the drama club?
Surprise. Let me tell you something.
Well, actually,
Yeah. Let me tell you a little something. We've been doing a lot of voice acting lately. That was fun.
that's been fun.
Yeah.
We've been hanging out and messing around with different voices.
Yeah.
And
Being responsible until 4 a.m.
I am
Yeah.
gonna get such good sleep
I
after
know.
you leave.
Yeah. I feel bad. It's like,
No,
I'm
it's-
here, and then it's like a parasite sort of. I suck in your sleep.
I would be up regardless.
Really?
That's how these get done. Is there are nights where I just don't sleep. I just even if I didn't have anything to do,
Yeah.
I'd be up going, I'm wasting time. I should just do something, and then I would do something.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
so
No, I
it's
get it.
great to spend it with somebody I don't get to see very
Yeah.
often.
No, I miss you. Yeah.
Same here. Yeah, this has been
Yeah.
really cool.
Let's hope you come down for Christmas, right?
Well, up and to the right.
I'm from Virginia, by the way.
And this is North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yeah, a little bit south, a little bit west.
Yeah. Here's how you know if you're in North Carolina. All you get on the radio are Joe Biden ads, and that's it.
You listen to the radio? Don't
No,
do that.
No. Yeah.
Turn that off.
Yeah.
Because it is. Everything right now is, and
Yeah.
you know, it used to be you had about
Yeah.
6 to 12 months of that. I remember growing up where I would hear it on the radio.
Yeah.
And for a kid that grew up listening to Rush Limbaugh, it was like 6 to 12 months of
Yeah, which is funny.
presidential
'Cause
stuff
12 months
is
is basically just the next year.
yeah. Now I remember watching The Shift where it just became, you don't get a break. It's become relentless.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering too if that's maybe what's the universe or God or whoever is kind of writing right now, is we've gotten relentless with whatever it is we're building in our society.
We've just become machines, sort of.
Yeah, but machines of hate.
I know. Yeah.
Seeding separation and division across, you know, it's
Machines,
there are
as far
people
as we
that are-
know, they don't feel anything. We
Yeah.
feel things. It's like,
well, we're feeling it and we're trying to play on the other person's feelings, like that villain that you created, right?
yeah.
Just a wake of mayhem, of absolute gnashing of teeth. That's a term I love so much.
Yeah, gnashing.
Gnashing.
You don't hear that too often.
You don't.
Kind of like when you say to someone like, you clod. You know, it's like, it hits hard, you know.
Does.
Claude. It's like you had to go back a couple centuries just to insult me.
Claudehead was one that I heard quite a few times coming up. So that, you know, goes to tell you I'm just a couple of centuries old.
Yeah. One time, that reminds me, one time, me and my mom, we were at Royal Farms.
Gas station, convenience store
The
environment.
convenience store slash
all
gas
over
station.
Virginia. And kind
we
of the
were
north.
getting some dinner for home because recently our power went out. This was like literally just before I came here. Like our power went out, and so we were like, okay, we have to go order food. So we went to Royal Farms, and this one guy said to us, "Oh, you guys are a cute couple. I'm 17. My mom's 41." I was like, man. So either she looks like 17 or I look like 41.
Don't worry, they were trying to pay her a compliment.
Yeah.
It's not about you, dude.
I know.
What are you, president of the drama club?
Well, let me tell you. That's another thing that's terrifying. I get to... we have a huge club. Technically speaking, we've had at most over 100 people. So that's going to be a lot of
Feeling
fun.
some weight? Because this is a recent thing. This is a recent assignment, right?
I mean, yeah, no, I'm used to weight though.
Not really. I mean, look at you. I mean, eat a sandwich, dude.
You can't see it, but yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, you might.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was just weird.
Yeah.
At least people on the on SoundCloud and iTunes will have no idea what just happened.
So basically, I can
No. No. So you've been dabbling in some music lately too. What's that been like?
Fun. Yeah, I'm not a musician. I just
That's
know.
not what I've been hearing in the house.
Okay, here's the difference: is I can play other people's songs. I cannot make my own songs yet. I could learn maybe, but no. Yeah, I do love the piano though. I just recently started taking that up back in Virginia. My grandma lives like 5 minutes away from me, so I've been going over to her house every now and then, spend like an hour doing like piano. And one of the last things she taught me before everything got really busy and then I came here was like arpeggio. So it's like chords like da 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 da. It's like da 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 da. And then I come here, and apparently Heather is gifted at teaching chord piano. And so when she's like, okay, see if you can do this, I'm like, okay. And I just start playing the chords. She's like, what? Apparently I was very impressive. But yeah, no, people think chords are hard because, I mean, I used to anyway. But no, like I just kind of memorize it. It's like C, so it's like C, and then C flat. It's minor, major, minor. I'm getting the terminology wrong. But yeah, no, music's been fun lately. Piano is hard. I'm not good at it. I'm only good at chords because I know them. When it comes like not Shakespeare. Like,
Shakespearean piano. Yes.
Yeah, I've been playing Shakespeare since I was in the womb, man. But no, so when it comes to like Mozart, just like really any song, I'm not that good. I'm just good at the chords more specifically. What?
All right, you need to listen to a top 40 countdown just one time, okay?
Okay.
Who's doing the top 40 now? Is it still Jeff Foxworthy?
I wouldn't
I
know.
was Jeff, or no, it's Ryan Seacrest. Last I heard.
Yeah.
And before that, it was
Yeah.
Casey Kasem,
Mm-hmm.
the voice of Shaggy on Scooby Doo, no less.
Love that show.
But the top 40, if you listen to the top 40,
Mm-hmm. It's just
it's
chords.
3 and 4 chord wonders. The whole thing.
Yeah.
It's so dreadful. That's what makes the great musicians like Mozart and Beethoven and
Yeah.
Bach and
They're very.
one of my favorites.
Yeah,
is
they're very
Chopin.
note driven, not chord driven, which is it's always fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's the layers, right?
Yeah.
So what they did is they got the chords down,
Mm-hmm.
and then like you, it got monotonous.
Yeah.
Literally, it's
I mean,
the same one
Yeah.
tone in their head over and
I
over
still
again.
kind of enjoy it.
So then they started arpeggiating it and moving
Yeah.
along with that, and
putting
then
in some eighths and sevenths.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then they got bored with. So then they get it fleshed out so that
Mm-hmm.
one instrument is like, okay, this is really rocking on one instrument, good solo instrument.
Yeah.
Now they're like, what if I could have another instrument that was doing that?
Another.
What if I
Okay.
could write it out so they would play it exactly the same way? And it's just
Yeah.
building on that drive for variety. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's another side of it
Layers.
too, is the idea of you're articulating stuff from what your soul is speaking to you in a way that
Yeah.
can be shared on an emotional and impactful,
Yeah.
spiritual even level. And I mean, they're just telling stories though with notes.
Yeah, basically. That's kind of what everything's a story if you want it to be. You can make a beautiful story about how that car was manufactured, and maybe the lives of the people behind it. Anything's a story.
Maisto, Maisto,
M-A-I-S.
whatever that company is, and if they're even still around.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
made it. You could go into the mystery of that company, But yeah, music is very. It's just beautiful. That's really the only way to describe it. I'd say it can be beautiful. It's kind of like, it reminds me of that quote from there's this archaeologist who wrote about his findings and how at some point he and this other guy opened up King Tut's tombs, and one guy asked him, "What do you see in there?" And all he responded with is just wonderful things. And that's kind of how you can describe music. It's just wonderful, wonderful things. Just you open it up and there's something new in there you might not seen before. Yeah. So I can't do my own songs yet, but that's why I've enjoyed learning how to do some of those songs with your wife and my aunt Heather. Is just dun dun dun, and because I connect to those songs, like it's really nice. Like if you guys haven't heard of the song "Everything Stays," first off, I don't blame you. It's from a cartoon Adventure Time, it's a good show. I'm loving it. But yeah, no, it's a really nice song, and like it kind of relates to me in a sense because like life is changing right now, or at least it will be very soon. And so the whole song is like, you'll find something waiting right there where you left it, lying upside down. And it's like when you'll find it, you'll see how it's faded. The underside is lighter when you turn it around. And it's like everything stays right where you left it, but it still changes. And it's like, it gives me hope that somehow I'll be able to retain a bit of myself, And that's what I love about music, is just it's all related if you want it to be.
Yeah, it's the theme that carries across each iteration of the song, even remakes of movies. It's the neat thing about a remake, as much as I hate remakes.
Fair enough.
The themes, the deep, meaningful parts are the ones that carry over.
Yeah.
And so when you have a remake, it actually helps you identify the real core elements that mattered if it was done properly.
Yeah.
That's usually what ends up making a remake fail, in my opinion, is they betrayed the core elements that connected with the audience before. They thought it was one thing.
Yeah.
They're like, no, it's something else.
Yeah, kind of like with Star Wars, I guess, in a way. Except
Well,
that's not really a remake.
No,
Yeah,
I have a movie about some people that fight ghosts. You could even say they bust ghosts, but I'm
Sounds
not going
familiar.
to go there because it's just been beat to death. I can just say it was not the cast change that ruined that movie.
Yep.
It was anyway.
A lot of other things.
Moving on.
Yes, moving on.
Moving on. This summer.
This summer. You can tell we've been doing voice work this
Pablo
summer.
Francisco.
Little tortilla boy.
Little tortilla
is back
boy.
in town. 3 girls have a sleepover, and that's the whole premise.
Wait, what movie have you been watching?
I have no idea.
I have not heard of. Oh my goodness, I am in so much trouble.
No, that's from this guy, Aaron Hansen.
You're gonna make it worse.
No, I promise.
It's what now?
Okay, so for those of you who have heard of this show called Game Grumps, which is hilarious, there's like this whole animated thing where one of the co-hosts, Aaron Hansen, he does like this whole movie trailer about just 3 girls have a sleepover, and that is it. There's nothing interesting. There's no villain. They even like talk about like one of the horror movies like just outside their house, and he narrates like, you know what, I'm just not feeling it today. You know, it's like, yeah, I need a day off. I need a me day. You know, and it's like this summer things get hot in the bedroom. It's like, it's too hot in here. Turn up the AC. Okay, the AC is broken. Oh, coming to you this Friday. That's it. Yeah.
You gotta send me some links to this because that's great stuff.
it's a fun time. Game Grumps. I love Game Grumps. They're hilarious.
Can see why.
Yeah. This is just some ASMR.
Trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't get ASMR.
ASMR.
Yeah. You don't know?
I don't know.
Okay, so
see, I learned something.
Yeah.
Around you.
So some people feel like pleasure like when like they hear someone like whispers like, and like just certain sounds, you know. That's why a lot of people like Bob Ross, for instance, is because it's so peaceful and calming. It makes them feel like extra good, you know. That's basically what ASMR is.
I always figured they like his hair.
Yeah. I mean that too. So it's like
Bob Ross.
It's kind of like it might be something like that, like just
Yeah. I mean, there is something said.
Yeah.
Do it again.
And it's like, gotta test the mic now. It's like,
we don't tap mics in the audio world.
yeah. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
There
it's
you
like,
go.
All right, I gotta go do the laundry now, and it'll be like just folding laundry. I don't know if you could even hear that.
Do that again.
It's like, or like maybe just sweeping the floor, like sweep, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's basically just like giving people like a certain sense of like satisfaction, like extra good satisfaction just from like sounds.
Oh, yeah. Another one's the ever satisfying Papa Top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Brand new Pepsi.
Yeah. Maybe
it doesn't even have to be a Pepsi. It's just like
yeah.
It's the first thing that comes to your mind. Mine's a Big Red soda.
Yeah.
Big Red.
Well, now I'm thinking Coca-Cola. Yeah.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Pineapple soda's good. That's a really good soda. I love a good pineapple soda.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you had it?
I have.
It's good.
I think it's good.
It's great. It's better than like even cherry, and I love cherry. Like this is some cherry water right here. I've been sipping on it this whole time. But now pineapple's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't offer a diet pineapple soda yet that I've found that's any good anyway.
Unfortunately.
It's kind of like diet root beer.
Yeah.
Man, that's
I love
painful.
a good root beer though.
A good root beer is good, but
yeah, nice and
don't
sweet.
make it diet.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It kind of defeats the whole purpose of a root beer in a sense. That thing is pure sugar. If you're trying to make it a diet, you're ruining it.
Yeah, it's like a meat vegetable.
Yeah.
Doesn't vegetable. Work. Don't do it.
Yeah.
It's like when vegans try to make you think, oh, it tastes just like bacon.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're trying to make it taste like bacon,
you're not vegan.
It's not gonna taste like bacon.
Do you know Jim Gaffigan?
Not personally.
Okay, but
looking forward to it.
You know of
maybe
him
one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Love that he runs a clean show too.
It's so nice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most of the time, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lately, he's gone a bit more less Christian, as like some grandmothers might call it.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the reasons. Brief segue. He was getting away from it a bit because everybody kept assuming he was a Christian and he's not.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of, anyway.
I wouldn't have assumed it.
But he's not trying to make a Christian stand-up act. It's just,
Yeah.
just didn't work to go blue on that.
He is so funny. Go watch some Jim Gaffigan if you haven't. He's good. He's got some good stuff. But yeah, he talked about like vegans and like their relationship with meat and how it's like an ex-lover. Basically, it was like they try to like find other things that are as close to meat as possible. It's like, I wonder when meat will call me again. It's like, yes, that's exactly what it's like sometimes, and it's so annoying to be around sometimes. Yeah, you just let me eat my damn steak.
But it goes the other way too. Like, I'll do ketogenic when I'm actually doing what I should be doing. Then there are people that go the other way around. It's like, you try to tell somebody, oh, don't worry, this meat's going to taste just like your asparagus. You're going to love it. And that does not fly. They don't appreciate that either.
No, I want my meat to taste like meat, mind you. I want my chicken to not be broccoli. Thank you very much.
There you go. But chicken and broccoli.
Yeah. I love how we rabbit holed from how I'm going to make this world a better place to just vegans and soda.
Diet sodas, pineapple sodas. Well, that's the way it goes sometimes. I am going to hit you with another one, though.
Please, yeah. I mean, wait, right now or?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Well, maybe I'll put it off for another hour.
Okay.
I was going to say...
I think I broke him.
Got you guys. No, I was gonna say, what is the thing that you want to improve the most about the world right now that you feel like you could make a difference in? Where are you boldly going? And what is your enterprise that's getting you there?
Great question. It's a big question. Yeah, it's a good question when it totally throws off the guy. But yeah, what do I want to change most in this world is what you said, or like improve?
We'll make less bad at least.
Yeah.
If you could pick something that's bad and you're like, I can make it a little less bad. Even.
I don't know. I guess there's a lot of things. One of the reasons I'm so interested in game design is, like I said, I was a very shy kid, but if I had grown up in like a slightly worse environment, I could have been insanely depressed like as a kid, like it's possible. But like, I don't know, it was like just having technology like this to keep me occupied or to invite friends over to play, that meant a lot to me. And so I think what I would want to improve most in this world is just being able to bring people together through stories like that. I'm good at stories. I think there's like guys who spend their whole lives, like Nick Vujicic, this guy, no arms, no legs. He travels the world and he just tells everyone his story, how he's met with God, and it's beautiful. And I would love to just kind of just do something like that. I want there to be more good stories out there, stories that don't have to end in death or injustice. And I just want to be able to spread the good vibes, basically. I just give stories that alleviate your hope. Is that what that word means? Am I using that right?
You don't want to alleviate your hope. Elevate.
Yeah, elevate. Yeah,
maybe.
Not alleviate.
No,
close,
we want to keep the hope.
Yeah.
Let that stay.
Yeah, that's
we
what
want that heavy and laid on thick.
Yeah, yeah, but just stories that really help to inspire people, But like at the same time, that's kind of why I don't want to be an actor. It's because like it feels like if I was just an actor, then I would be that. I would just be doing stories with no real action. At least when I make my own stories, it feels like I'm doing my own thing. I'm not just a cog. I'm the thing that's kind of running it. And plus, like I could just, I don't know. I feel like I would be able to have the time to travel even. I don't know. I just trying to attack something as big as governments and just terrorism, it doesn't feel like the right approach. The way I've been taught things is if you want the world to change, you have to do it on an individual level. And that's just something that can't really be done by governments as far as I've seen. And so I would want to do something that would allow me to have people see what I believe in on an individual level and have it apply to anyone in any way that they want to, and to be able to spread that story and just inspire people. I basically just want to inspire people in a way, whether it's through games or movies or even novels or animation. I want to be able to give people stories that they can rely on. And, hopefully I'll be able to travel the world too and, share my story, I just kind of want to spread fantasies like that, except in this case, they don't need to be fantasies anymore.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful. That's
Thank
a good
you.
place to start.
Yeah.
That's a solid place to start. Even
Yeah.
if you have to tweak that idea at all,
Yeah.
man, that's a lot of good in there.
I know. It's
at least a lot of not bad.
Yeah, stories are powerful, man. They're just a lot of what I am today is just based on the idea of stories.
Well, if you think about the Bible too, it's stories. And then what did Jesus do? Well,
yeah.
now you've got stories about a guy telling stories.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Man, I'm a bit of a lazy Christian. I need to get back to reading that.
It's the pledge to the Bible is a really cool thing. I don't know if you've heard that.
No. I don't think so.
Man. I pledge allegiance to the Bible.
Yes.
God's holy word. I will make it a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path.
Wow.
I will hide its words in my heart that I might not sin against God.
Damn.
And the idea of trying to incorporate that. And then you look at the way David would talk about it in the Psalms. I love your law. I love to read it. I love to dwell on it and meditate on it. It sets me free. It tells me how you love me.
Yeah.
Like the law was Old Testament scripture about really some condemning, not condemning, but weighty things, big responsibility of people in the world. And David he was passionate. He danced in the street until his clothes were falling off, naked, right? His wife hated that, by the way. And so when I hear the pledge to the Bible, I feel like that sums it up for me a good bit too, because it's one of those things, the more I read, the more I get sucked in, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know about that
You
either.
let it marinate.
And then listening to Jordan Peterson talk about it from a psychological perspective, to start getting some pragmatism blended into it as well, was really helpful for me. And this, now I'm going to get a lot of grief because I mentioned his name on a channel and that I actually read him. Oh my goodness.
Can't wait for you to get censored.
Again, that's okay. I haven't said flat earth yet. Oh, crap.
Gotcha. Nice knowing you guys. Never coming back.
This is going to be banned now.
It's over now. Thanks for tuning in while it lasted. Made it over 10 episodes.
Barely.
Yeah. Your last episode with Ben Cotton, right? That was over 4 hours long.
So that was actually
impressive.
The last one was Ben. Now this is probably going to come out of order. But the last one was actually, we recorded Ben the second time. Yeah. And we kept it around 2 hours. We actually, it was amazing. It was like a sprint instead of, but the 4.5 hours, it was long form. You'd think if we were going to say something controversial or stupid that would be worth banning us or, censoring us, you'd find it in that episode. I get no grief for that one. Yeah. But I do 90 minutes to 2 hours with a guy who's of the opinion currently that the earth is flat. Yeah. I'm in trouble.
I mean, we talked about that a while ago, and here, I don't know, it just, like I said, I don't get how that could be true. But people get so easily offended nowadays that you have to phrase it like, okay, what you are saying is not impossible. It is, however, wildly improbable. That's how I do a lot of my things. That way I don't have to shut down people, but I give them a chance. Just not a very good chance,
Well, and the great thing is sometimes, even though they're at a different conclusion than you, they probably know some things that you don't know yet. Yeah. Right? So if you just hang in there and just genuinely listen, you're still going to be learning from them. You're going to be better for it.
Exactly. Yeah.
But there's a humility that comes in there too. I like that variety that you've come up with in your
Yeah.
social settings.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly a naturally empathetic person. It's a skill I'm really trying to work on
Yeah,
still.
and I'm not naturally extrovertive. I'm what I call a learned extrovert, in that I'm basically an introvert, but I've learned how to harness my theatricality in a
Well,
sense.
that's what the school system actually was a great gift for, because
Yes, thank
I
God.
mean it kind of beat it into you in some ways, because like I mean kids are cruel, man. Like
Yeah, no, for sure.
we beat up on each other, and then it's their fault, like the victim's fault all the time. Well, you shouldn't have done that to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing it all over again. I've got toddlers. Not
Yeah.
toddlers, gosh, they're getting older
I mean, they
now.
are toddlers still, right?
Well, no, they're past toddlers. Like toddlers
Oh,
is
yeah.
like
2 and 3.
2 and 3-ish.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
18 months. So now I've
Yeah.
got 2 that are way past that, and one that's about to go into it.
Yeah.
And you're just seeing
He's
it play
adorable,
out
though.
over again.
Yeah.
He's a brute.
Yeah.
He's
He's a heavy little bugger. I gave him a new nickname, the Pudgernaut.
the pudger dog.
Yeah. So Chase's son Charles, he is just this heavy little baby, but he's the most precious thing I've seen
So
all
he's
week.
like 7 months old.
He looks like a 1-year-old. Yeah.
I forget how much he weighs, but he's
Yeah.
in clothes that are for like 14-month-olds and 18 months old.
He's a chunkster, man. But
Yeah,
hey, you gotta wear that, that's
Right?
good. It shows you're gonna have some muscle someday.
I'm hoping that's the way that's going to go. He won't stay humongo like I tend to go back to.
No, you are not that bad. Trust me.
Thank you. This
Yeah.
is why I keep you around. Except for when I stand next to you, I look like I'm 500 pounds.
I mean, I can do the stomach thing again if you
No,
want.
no, please. No, don't do that. So I was going to hit you with, we've been going for a little while now. I was going to hit you with a
Yeah.
1-2 final question.
Final question. This is so much fun. Yeah.
Unless
Yeah.
there's something you going to throw at me.
Yeah. Oh, this is what you're talking. Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. I wasn't talking about anything. It's just coming up. I just
Yeah.
didn't want to shut this down if there were
Yeah,
things that
no, I love
you're going
talking.
to
This is fun, guys. This is a lot of fun. Yeah. Okay. So, okay, I'll ask you a question. So, we've been talking a bit about my storytelling and my goals and why I might be motivated towards game design and why I might want to see that play out in the world.
Yes, we should talk about that more.
Now, before we do, what is your goal with this podcast? What's your motivations? I know a bit about it, but I want the audience to know now. Like, what is your purpose in doing this? If that's too uncomfortable, just tell me. But yeah, it's like, what about this is truly important to you that makes it you want to keep doing this, even in the face of like other events, like the virus,
The world is hell.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been hell.
Yeah.
Ever since the fall. I mean, and we make it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many people using their talents to make it even worse.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's through malevolence or willful ignorance.
Yeah.
I've been trying my best to figure out what it is that I might be okay at doing.
Mm-hmm.
That genuinely, when I walk away from a conversation or something like that, I get a solid feeling that the other person's day was a little less hell because of that conversation. And then I like finding heroes.
Mm-hmm.
I really, and people think about this, they're like, oh yeah, well, there's that small town hero and things
Yeah.
and it's like, no, the reason the hero stories resonate so deeply with so many people is because there is a hero in each person.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't take anything to be a hero for a moment.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Just a little bit of empathy, a little bit of compassion for somebody that is starving for it. And it takes so little to help a person find a reason to pursue a better trajectory for their life. Like, they don't have to stay in that rut. And I've been in that rut to the point where the walls were closing in. And so when you talk to people who are at the brink of suicide, or you profile somebody that's gone to that, usually there's two ways they could have gone. They either turn it inward because they feel there's no way out, right? They just can't. Things can get so dark that even something that's obvious to somebody else for how you could get out of this perpetual 6-cycle carousel, you just can't see it. You're just so beat down. You physically can't see it. Your world is shaped in a way that it's not possible. And through some situations that I've been around relationally, I've seen people turn malevolent and start turning it on other people. And I've seen them turn it inward and take their own lives. You never know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
At the cash register.
Yeah.
Or on the town council.
Yeah.
Right? Your political opponent. What if your political opponent is on the verge of suicide? What if tomorrow they're planning to commit suicide and your last campaign ad pushed them the rest of the way over? Because you had a choice.
Yeah.
You could have been empathetic. So what I'm trying to do is show people how small heroic acts can be, how important it is to make the world less dark. And I think we're at the point now where civil discourse is a joke. It's something of the past. Nobody knows how to do it.
Yeah.
Because that's why people like Joe Rogan and that's why podcasts are springing up, especially when they have people of disagreeing perspectives who are having good conversations that are engaging, and the whole audience is like, why don't I get to hear the other side? Well, it's because we don't know how to hear it anymore. We hear them saying something and we're so afraid it's going to destroy our whole way of life and everything that we've sacrificed for and built up in our own minds for our belief systems and how we move in the world, that we just freak out and we have to be like, no, shut that down. That's one of the reasons I think hate speech is a terrible concept.
Yeah.
People speak out hatefully. It's like, well, now you know where the haters are.
Yeah.
Go help that guy. That's where loving your enemies comes in handy, right? You don't help them by shutting them up. You help them by genuinely hearing them.
Yes.
But nobody seems to know how to do that anymore. I like Joe Rogan a lot, listen to him a lot, but at the same time, I am a Christian. He's not. I listen to Christian podcasts, and I didn't get that genuine conversation element that I thought Joe Rogan had.
Yeah.
So I just saw a gap there, and that's where I was like, you know what? I'm going to make a podcast for me, the kind of podcast I would do, which would be what we just described.
Yeah, so you just want to show people can get along, basically.
Yeah, but it's not, it's like I mentioned earlier, I'm not naturally empathetic.
Yeah.
So it's a learned skill. You have to spend a little time on it. You have to make eye contact. You have to repeat back some things that the other person says to show that you're listening, and they need to be the core elements. So yeah, it's you demonstrate it, right? I'm not telling people go have better conversations or here's how you did a conversation wrong, because who am I?
Yeah.
I'm just this guy that decided to start recording good conversations.
Yeah.
And
they are good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Well, everybody seems to think so when they walk away, and that's where I'm really happy with it. So.
Yeah. No, be proud of yourself for that, for sure.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You're a great encourager.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, no, it comes in handy when you have to deal with 100 other people to be able to encourage every once in a while.
It goes a long way, and it takes so little encouragement to make somebody's day.
It really does.
Because they're going to get 10 negative things.
Yeah. It's just that one little golden nugget you can give them, it makes all the difference.
Yeah, and as deep as you can perceive, right, and be right when you do it, man, the ripple effect, because then now they're spun up, and they do it for somebody else.
Yeah.
You watch, you just see it happen, and it's just so beautiful.
Yeah, everything is connected, even in like the most tiny ways. That's why you have to be so careful nowadays, and that's why it makes such a big difference and pays such huge dividends just to be the good guy every once in a while.
Yeah, or just, don't participate in the bad.
Yeah, no,
it goes so far.
Again, part of the reason I don't listen to the news, I don't feel like participating. Yeah, just giving fuel to a cycle you shouldn't be paying attention to, really. Yeah, obviously pay attention to issues if you can, but like in terms of fueling the news, I'd say no. Like like, if you don't know anything about Black Lives Matter, go ahead and look some stuff up about it. Pay attention if you can. I still struggle with that a little bit. I have been trying with that, but anyway, I'm getting sidetracked now. But yeah,
No, you've been trying with that?
yeah, yeah. No, so every time I would go on Instagram and I looked at other people's stories and I saw a name of someone who'd been like shot or seriously hurt, I would just take a screenshot and hopefully get back to it later. But the biggest thing I did was I drew a pencil sketch of George Floyd. So like
that is a cool picture.
You saw it?
Yes, I saw it.
My
It
gosh,
looks
yeah.
amazing. That's such good work.
Thank you. Yeah. But no, it's just so like 46 years, 8 minutes, 46 seconds, and it's just like, just do your research basically. If it's important to you and if it's important to people, at least that are important to you, just maybe do some research about that, Maybe don't follow the news, or maybe you do, but just try and keep yourself educated as much as you can, which is where I fall flat a little. But yeah.
It sounds like you're doing it better than a lot of people.
I try,
because blindly following the news and then saying, oh, well, you shouldn't mourn the death of that person. It's like you should mourn the death of every single person on the planet. That, when a life ends like that, it is a tragedy.
It is.
And it could be a sequence of tragedies. Like maybe they're like multi-generational. They were abused and situations like that. Or they were a noble person and just things happened the wrong way at the wrong time. And it's always a tragedy when somebody dies.
It is. Yeah.
And, well, unless you're a believer, right? And there's that
hope. It's like, oh, see him again, Yeah.
That's always the hope.
Yeah. But no, it's just, death is too often, I guess it's just kind of been desensitized to us, which is terrifying to think of. Like, we're worried about robots and artificial intelligence. We need to be worried about our intelligence right now. We need to be worried about our empathy. Like, we were talking about this a while ago. It was like, artificial intelligence to learn artificial compassion. So should we. Death is just a trope in just about every story you can find, and it's so common in the news sometimes, which it's so desensitized. Everything is relative. If I had to guess, I'd say relative to how death would have been perceived a few thousand years ago, that's probably gotten a bit more desensitized, at least in my opinion. Because it's so easy to talk about now. Like, we talk about, like, just, I don't know. Like, we talk about teaching our kids it. And, and then, like, when it's time to tell them, some people are just like, oh, yeah, you're going to die someday. And it's like, you can't undermine it like that. That is terrifying. That you're like the system of memories, and you're going to be gone someday. In the grand scheme of things, you might not matter. That's terrifying. It should be treated with respect. That's why you should keep yourself educated on who dies, who lives, and who tells their story. It's just being able to take it seriously. It's so easy to it's so easy to undermine and underplay things, because for me, at least, it's often a defense mechanism. I'm guilty of this myself, just not taking things as seriously as they should be. But, like, just find something you can take seriously and just really focus on that. Try and find out why it's serious to you and apply it to other things if you can, because it's important to find the things you can take seriously. Life can be a joke, but it can also be a very terrifying trauma. And, pay attention. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. You were talking about the desensitization.
Desanitizing.
No, not desanitizing. It's not going to be dirty.
Yeah. It can be.
Well, it's actually quite the opposite. Is what's I was looking into this. We were talking about how I was reading about how soldiers in World War II were actually a little more conditioned for what they were going to experience than somebody who went to the Gulf War. And the reason for this is actually technology and industrialization of food.
Okay.
So 1941, there's still a lot of people in the world that are slaughtering their own animals in the backyard to make meat and things like that. They were around death of some form in the world a lot. So when they saw other people being killed and things like that, I'm not trying to take away from the impact of that, but there was a general, not callousness, but a conditioning, right? They were a little desensitized to that.
Yeah.
And what we're doing now is, well, there was also the respect for it. Like when you said you were going to gut somebody like a pig, it was like, you know what that looks like. You've done it. And it's just this, it's such a action to have to do that, and to put that on another person like you had. And in that way, it weighed even more. So what we're doing now is we don't have that. We buy our bacon from the market.
Yeah.
We don't even see like that it comes from an animal. We don't even, there's no connection to that.
Yeah.
And what it's doing is it's actually intensifying PTSD in some cases, because there's just no context for death.
Yeah.
And that's coming back to what you were talking about by shielding people. These people, you can tell somebody, oh yeah, death is coming for us all and whatever, and it's like, oh yeah, well, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
one day I'll make a couple $1 billion. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you need to know this. You need. There's a phrase I love. You need to know it in your bones. It needs to be that deep, like it emanates out from within.
It's just
And so when I hear about people talking about, oh well, you know, video games.
Yeah.
The big thing when I was growing up was, oh, GoldenEye is so violent. GoldenEye, oh, you're going to be so... I'll tell you what, when I was overseas and I saw my first dead body that had been shot, it was still pretty tragic for me, okay?
Yeah.
It was still quite a shock.
I can imagine.
The video game did not help, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, there's just no... If you're properly appreciating life on Earth, there is no conditioning for that. Not to the point that we're seeing, but somehow when you can vilify somebody, it's amazing how much you don't care about what happens to a person when you think they're a Nazi.
Yeah.
And we're throwing those words around a lot, and we are desensitizing ourselves, I think, in that regard.
Yeah.
We'll still care as much when it's somebody that we love that goes, but somebody, you know, the loving your enemy part.
It's hard.
It's hard, and it's we're doing it less and less.
Yeah. I mean, why love your enemies when you can just as easily just, you know, give them a good, like, knuckle sandwich sort of a thing.
Or erase them.
Or, yeah. It's just, that's something I've thought about a lot, is, like, why it's harder to do some things than others. Like, it's so much easier to destroy something than it is to spend years building up to it. Like, you can destroy something, like let's do, like, a simple example. Tower of blocks. It could take a child like a good half hour just to make that tower, but it can take another kid 2 seconds, a fraction of the time that other kid spent making that tower just to demolish it. And it begs the question, like, so why do the hard thing when it's so much easier to do this other thing? And I guess the best answer I can give is just, it's so much more, there's a reward to it. You can destroy anything, but you can't always create something. Like, that's why it's such a big deal. Create something out of nothing. Like Jesus, he's creating something. He's not killing, he's not destroying. It's so much more rewarding to be able to say, okay, I'm going to love you as much as I can. You know, it's good.
I think creating from the heart is a great example of being the ultimate rebel in the world. And the reason I say that is because the natural state of things is they're falling apart.
Yeah.
All the structure of the world, it's just crumbling. So when you're creating something and moving in the opposite direction, you're swimming upstream of how nature is flowing. That is so cool. That's such a heroic thing.
Exactly. It's just like, why go down the river? I want to go up and see the mountain hills, you know?
I've been working on a concept that is, we're always creating. We know we as humans cannot not create.
I think about that so much too, but keep going.
Yeah? No, go ahead.
No. Here, do your thing first, then we'll talk.
So even when you're sitting there doing nothing, you're actually creating destruction because you're allowing the world to fall apart around you.
Yeah.
You can't be ambivalent. You're either moving in a direction of creating things that are for good, or you're creating for things for evil.
Yeah.
There's no steady state.
Anyone who
And when I
says
started
you-
reflecting
yeah.
on my actions like that,
Yeah.
holy cow! Like it's like at the end of what I do, whatever it is now, I try to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Would I say at the end of the day of creating that it was good? So that was one of the neat things about the creation story is at the end of each day, God would create something, and then at the end he would examine it. He'd look at it and be like,
just be like, it's a masterpiece.
is this what I think it is? And then he would declare it was good. Like, yeah, that was good.
It's like, that is baller right there.
Yeah. And so when you think about creating a sentence to say to somebody,
Yes.
right? Are you creating something good, or are you creating something not good?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's very hard to be objective like that. It's like, is it for me? Yeah, it could be good for me. But what about the tens of other people watching this? It's like, this could hurt all of them somehow. And it's like, whoa. It's like, yeah, you just gotta.
But then your silence hurts them, right? It's like,
yeah, your silence is
what
deafening.
am I doing?
Yeah.
You got to pick.
Silence is deafening. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, anyway. So now we're going to go to what I want to talk about.
Cool.
So I think about that a lot sometimes, is people are always creating. We have a desire to create, which is good because that kind of cancels out the destruction sometimes. But like sometimes I wonder if we should just stop creating sometimes. Do you ever think about that? It's like it took us millions of years to come up with the wheel, maybe. And then nowadays it only takes us another less than a year to come up with another iPhone. And it's just, there's such a disproportionality, and it just makes you wonder like how fast we can create things.
So you're talking about Moore's law. Moore's law states that the rate of technology expansion is always doubling.
Basically, yeah. And so it's terrifying though. It's like, okay, so we're becoming this fast, but at what point are we even stopping to think about it? Like, let's do something simple like movies. Movies back in the day weren't nearly as common, and now there's so many we can barely keep count, and it just makes you wonder, like, there's so many bad movies and so many rip-offs. It makes you wonder when we should just take a breather. People think that they don't focus enough sometimes because of how distracted they get, but really the problem is you're over-focusing. Your brain is so over-stimulated by, like, your phone. That's why after, like, a good 3-hour Netflix binge, you need to, like, just sit down for a minute. You can't go back on your phone usually. Your brain is just too overstimulated. And so that makes me think, okay, so our brains are becoming so overstimulated, and because we keep creating. So at some point, like, when does it become truly harmful to keep creating? When are we degrading ourselves just for the end results? It's like we lose the point of relaxation and boredom, which boredom is, get bored every once in a while. That's when you're most creative. It's good.
So what would that look like if you could not create? Is it because creation seems to be a choice based on awareness?
Yeah. I don't know. To choose to not create, I don't know. It takes a very wise person to say, you know what? I'm gonna just stop now, but maybe just, I don't know, yeah, I guess it's kind of impossible for us to not create, but maybe just think more carefully about what you want to create. Like the movie example, don't make something just for money. Make something you might want to do. Maybe write a book this time, see what you can do. Just experiment. Don't get too caught up with yourself, because the moment you get too caught up with yourself is kind of when you start to, I guess, lose yourself. It's kind of ironic. You know yourself so well that you don't even have to think about what you're doing, and at that point you just kind of lose something that used to be there. So keep yourself on your toes. Don't create the same thing twice. Try and be different. Just try to give yourself time to be bored, to make something new. It's so important. It's like, don't leave yourself so overstimulated all the time. I don't know, just have variety.
Sounds like you're talking about finding peace.
Yes.
And being able to rest, and that's where meditative techniques come in handy, where you can just push out everything. What you're not doing, you're it's not that you're not doing something. You're actually taking a break. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movie lines is from Ronin.
Okay.
And Sean Bean's character says, it'd feel a lot better if we could do something. I think it's Sean Bean's character. And De Niro says, we are doing something. We're sitting here waiting. And when you do what you're talking about, where you find a place of peace and calm and get the distractions out, what you're doing is you're sitting there waiting for what will be the actual next thing that can transform your whole perspective. It can transform your whole life.
Yeah.
You have a good moment of peace. That's why people love to get out in the woods and disappear for a while.
No, that's why this year was so crazy. I had a lot of those moments, surprisingly. This year's been a nightmare in a lot of ways.
So it's a nightmare in that you've had to...
No, it's been like one of the best and also one of like the worst years of my high school life. The worst is because I've been busy this year. I have taken 5 AP classes just this year and another honors, and it was brutal. On top of that, I was constantly trying to keep up with being this huge cog in like the drama club, which by the way is important, and I can talk about that too because I would love to. Yeah, but so basically, yeah, it's just this year's been busy. I just felt like I was juggling so many things. I was still getting sleep, but like it just, when you wake up at 5:30 in the morning, it still doesn't feel like sleep sometimes. And so just this whole year, at about halfway through, I was basically just running on like pure emotion. I barely made it through. That's why I'm kind of happy this whole quarantine thing has happened, is like I get to take a nap now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, so this year was just it's been a lot of things. But the reason why it's also been the best year is because I made it through all those things, and I have done spectacularly this year.
Oh,
yeah.
Don't, if you don't say so yourself.
Yeah. No,
the grades show it.
I've been trying not to give myself like that ego bump, but I deserve this one just a little bit. Yeah, just a little. I'm allowed to give myself credit every once in a while is something I am learning.
If you can't tell yourself when you do well, you shouldn't be allowed to tell yourself when you're doing badly.
Exactly. Yeah. Like at the beginning of this year, it was the first audition of the year. I was really confident, and I went on the stage, and I did great in my head. I didn't get a single part. I was props manager though, and so like the next day when I asked, oh hey, that's weird, I'm not on the cast list, I guess they're trying to make room for new people, and the teacher was like, no, you just sucked. And I was like, fair enough. It was like a huge ego check. Yeah. She did not say it like that. She's like, no, it was just because you did not do good on stage. You didn't do as good as you thought, and you didn't take it seriously. I was like, shit, fair enough. It wasn't like the I'm mad at you. It was like the I'm disappointed in you. And that always hurts. So like starting the year out with a huge ego check, which I needed. I really needed.
Weighed, measured, and found wanting. Ouch.
Yeah, no, but like it was the best thing that's probably happened to me this year, because like I said, they made me props manager, and this year's play had like a good maybe 40 props, and we had about 1 to 2 months to get all of that. I was working with 10 people. We got everything we needed, and it was amazing. They were so impressed, they made me props manager for the next play for the competition, and they didn't send me the list of props they needed until like a week and a half before the show.
Yikes.
Yeah. And this is the best thing I busted myself doing this. It was great. So basically they wanted weapons, or they wanted like a sword, an axe, of like a swinging morning star, one of those things. I don't know.
A mace?
Yeah, but like the thing
with
that
the spikes.
The thing the guy had in Lord of the Rings, where he's like, and he tore up the girl's shield, and she's like, I'm no man. Yeah, that thing. The thing he used to beat up that shield. So they wanted sword, axe, a knife, and a morning star. And I ended up making 2 knives because they said butcher's knife, so I thought like the big meat cleaver. No, they meant like a big knife sort of a thing. But yeah, so I had like a week and a half to do this. But I was so determined to make up for my big flop at the beginning of the year that I decided, you know what? Let's just do all of the weapons out of wood. And so I don't have any power tools. The only thing I was given was an old power sander to tone down the wooden blade. That was all I had. I made all 5 of those weapons and did their entire stage layout in about a week and a half. And they were some good props, let me tell you right now.
Well done.
Yeah. I got some nice silver paint on there. It made them look so real. It was so good. It was so good.
You're going to hit those deadlines, man. You're getting ready to go into a world where
I hit them. Yeah.
people, they will do it just because it's convenient for them.
Yeah.
And you still have to deliver. Like, it doesn't even matter. Or things went wrong somewhere further back in the project, and now everyone's looking to you you and your team to find a way to work together and get it back on track.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just me doing those weapons. In case I wasn't
That's
clear.
tough. No, I got it, man. That's hard work. Like,
it was.
And you did.
It was
You
rough,
owned up to
I
the
tried,
responsibility of the task and went for it.
I tried, but so huge ego check this year is just getting me back on track was the best thing ever, because it reminded me, oh yeah, I gotta like do things, sort of a thing.
I love a Phoenix story, man.
Yeah.
And it's so counter to the culture of we shouldn't tell kids when they're doing a bad job. It's like,
tell them.
Be honest, be kind. Be kind about it, but be honest. Because by not telling them when they're doing badly, they're gonna find out the hard way.
Yeah.
When they're like, oh, well, I don't understand why it was wrong.
Exactly.
That's not fair to anybody.
Not. Yeah. No such thing as bad students. Only bad teachers.
No, there are bad students too.
I don't know.
Oh yeah,
Really?
there are bad students.
I mean, I don't know. There are a lot of bad teachers too.
Yeah, there are a lot of bad teachers,
like
and
parents. Yeah.
You know, a masterful teacher can a lot of times help a bad student see good things worth becoming a good student for. It doesn't mean they'll accept it. There are some people that are just bent, but they're a very small minority. Yeah, very tiny number.
Yeah. Fortunately, I think of myself as a good student because this year has been brutal.
Well, you're a student willing to look at himself when he's messing up, so that's you can't ask for a much better student.
Thank you.
Take it and apply it, man, and just keep going.
Yeah, I hope to. Yeah.
This is going great, but I know I've heard at least one camera shut down already.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so we're getting to a point where it's probably worth wrapping it up a little bit.
Oh, so I guess it's the final 1-2 punch now?
Depends on what you had on your mind about the COG in the drama school, because I was...
COG? Oh, yeah.
You're talking about wanting to do that. Or was that the props thing?
No, I can sum up really quickly. But basically, a lot of people will like look down on the drama club because, first off, it's like the drama club is like compared to sports and like basically anything else in the school, they're usually at like the bottom tier, as like they're labeled as the weirdos. And we are insane. Yes. But like that's the fun thing. You have to.
I participated in theater.
Yeah, you have to.
Do
own
know that?
It. Yeah, you have to own the crazy. But like at the same time, what I'm really hoping to do this year as president is just make it a lot more professional in a way. I want to, because like our backstage is a mess. The props closet is disgusting. Me and my team cleaned that out. We found.
I was gonna say, weren't you the props manager?
We found rat poop in there, man. It was disgusting. Yeah, I felt so bad about that. And so like, the whole backstage is in like disarray, like, and because of how this year's going, the schedule is really like shaky right now. So I'm really, really just hoping I can get things organized and professional. Like I'm gonna get some social media going. It's not a drama club. It's more like a Norview theater department is what I will call it.
Well, be sure when you get that kind of stuff going, send me the links. I'm gonna add them to the description here.
Thank you.
So that we get them out to people.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. Maybe make us a Patreon. Who knows? Couldn't hurt, right?
Can never hurt.
No, it could not.
Not like that.
Yeah, but it's so important to like just that theater club is really important because like it's a home sort of thing. It's like a safe haven for the weirdos. And usually the weirdos can be the ones who beat everyone else at life sometimes. And so it's just being able to make people feel at home and give them that comfort and yet still be able to get the job done. That's what I'm aiming for. And that's why this club is really important to me. This place is a home, not just to me, but countless other people who have more or less problems than I do. And it's just, I want to be able to make this a home, and I want to be able to make it a good home. That's what I'm really hoping for this year. Just step it up, Just,
sounds like you're driven by a really good motivation of respect and home and
it's a good place to
camaraderie and family.
Yeah, we're not a theater school, but hey, let's get ourselves a theater program at least, Yeah,
and I like where you're coming from in that it's not picking at the organization just to pick at it and say, oh, well, that's wrong.
Yeah,
it's like, no, I care about this.
Yeah, they're wrong. That's why I say it.
Can we make it better? Can we make it less rat poopy?
Yeah, and it's so hard because school's like closed for the first few weeks. So it's like we're hardly going to be able to get in that building. Hopefully I can find a way to get in there and just at least take photos and figure out like where I can put things when we do get in there. But it's
a great idea.
Yeah, just basically I just want to give us a reputation, of the good sort.
Or at least don't have a bad one.
Yeah, we don't have a bad one.
That's good.
Definitely not.
And just make sure that never happens.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but
cool.
I just hope it works. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, and now we can do your final 1-2 punch.
Yeah?
I think. Yeah.
You ready?
No, but
Brace yourself.
I can pretend. Yeah.
Have you gotten over, Atreyu? Have you gotten over losing Artax to the swamps of despair yet? How are you recovering?
What? Oh my gosh.
What toll did that take on you? Was there a recovery period? And then lastly, what's up with Sebastian getting Orin and getting to hang out with the childlike princess when you did all the work?
Yeah.
I just got to know, you lost Artax.
This is your final.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're referencing an 80s movie that only like 30-year-olds are going to get. And some teenagers, actually.
But it's a book worth reading and movies worth seeing. So there you go, on that bombshell.
Wow.
Which I just stole that phrase again. On that landmine is what I meant to say. It is time to call it a night.
Unfortunately. Yeah, this is fun. I love this.
I had a blast.
Me too.
Thanks for doing it. Thanks for encouraging me to do it, because I was not in a podcasting groove, and you actually made it like
I
sound
could
like something I wanted to
do. We're going into some swampy despairs there. I can't have you having
and
that.
you pulled me out. Unlike your horse.
Yeah, you're the... I tried, man. He wouldn't let me. He's like 500 pounds. I'm this 11-year-old kid wearing leather. What do you want me to do? No, you're the host, man. Get some confidence. You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all watching if you were watching, and appreciate y'all listening along as always. Yeah. I'm not going to say please like and subscribe, and maybe I'll put a Patreon link in it.
Please like and subscribe and do his Patreon. It's nice.
He'll be back.
Yeah. I hope. Wow.
Scene.
Nice. That was good.
That was fun, right?
Yeah, man. Oh.
So it is
9:03.